Is the Apple Watch worth it? Now, this video is not going to be the common video where I kind of talk about the specific technical components of the Apple Watch altogether. I'm more giving a review on if I think the Apple Watch is worth it, especially with modern day prices on it, as well as just the different features and capabilities of the watch that make it worth it or not worth it for you. If you're new here, hello babes, my name is Courtney. I'm a high school software engineer that has leveled up my productivity. And on my channel, I talk about productivity, tech, and finance, which kind of today ties together productivity and tech because I really want to review the Apple Watch and give you my 2 cents on this device. I'm going to structure this video with pros and cons by listing you some of the benefits and disadvantages of the device, and then you can deduce what works for you and if this might be a purchase for you in your future. Now, first, going into pros. The number one pro that I have for the Apple Watch is that it is convenient. It gets notifications, it rings caller IDs, it's helpful for financial transactions. It can be extremely beneficial for making your life way more convenient. I absolutely love the device because it is a supplement to your phone, specifically if you have an Apple phone. I don't really know how it works when it comes to cooperating with Android devices, but with iPhones, I can confidently say that they work in tandem flawlessly together, where you are able to respond back in some instances instead of picking up your phone. And then of course it's easier for you to use your watch for some transactions. You can just put it up against the register and pay for certain things of that sort. And then of course if you have phone calls and you're not right next to your phone, you can look at the watch and see who's calling you and decide, is that enough for you to go and get your phone, or you can just send an automatic message to call back later. Another thing for the convenience is that when I lose my phone, which is very often, I use the watch to kind of find my iPhone in a sense, where I can ping it and then it will go off wherever it is. So it's just much easier for me to find lost devices and things of that sort. The next pro that I have is the watch's fitness capabilities. It is able to track your steps, track your heart rate, and things of that sort. They used to be able to track your blood oxygen levels, but due to recent lawsuits and things of that sort with patent issues, that's no longer a capability that the Apple Watch carries as a function. So if you see reviews about talking about that, just know that's no longer an availability for the device. The next and final pro for the Apple Watch is its emergency features. I absolutely love how I'm able to call 911 if I'm ever put in an emergency situation where I'm not able to grab my phone. It just adds another layer of protection in my life that I really appreciate that having. Another thing that falls under this category is the falling feature that I actually didn't know about until doing some prior research for this video, but Apple Watches also have a falling feature specifically for more senior purchasers and more senior people. But if you fall and the watch detects you falling and you're not getting back up, it is able to immediately call 911 or whatever emergency services that are nearby for you to receive the proper treatment for whatever emergency situation happened for you. So those are just some of the reasons that I really want to push to you for like pros buying the Apple Watch. Ultimately, the device helps you be more productive with your time. It's way more convenient and it works flawlessly with the Apple ecosystem altogether. Now moving on to the cons. Of course, number one con I have for this device is its price. Apple Watches can be extremely unaffordable for the average person, but if you are able to get it during a sale, honestly, the sale prices for Apple Watches makes the device worth it. Normal prices can range from about $250 to $450, maybe even $500 for the newer, bigger watches. And then for the older devices, you can get them for around $100 on the second-hand sites and things of that sort. And then for sales, you should be able to get the devices for about $100 to $150. Of course, this depends on the model that you're purchasing, but just know the Apple Watch SE compared to the Apple Watch series, whatever it's on, there is little discrepancies between the two, and the SE genuinely has the very similar features to the newest watches. So unless there's a certain feature that you want to purchase with the bigger, more expensive watches, and you just want a watch altogether, the Apple Watch SE is a phenomenal purchase if that's something you're looking into. Another con for the Apple Watch is its battery life. Apple Watches do not last as long as I wish they would. Especially in comparison to some of the other watch devices, they last 48, 72 hours in some instances, where the Apple Watch typically lasts about 18 to 24 hours, which kind of contradicts some of its abilities. I was going to list in one of the pros its sleep tracking ability, but I personally cannot attest to that because I've never used it, because my watch is always dead every single time I go to sleep. Therefore, I charge my watch at night so I can't track my sleep with the different features that the Apple Watch has. So when it comes to battery life, it's not very impressive, especially when put up against its competitors with extremely long battery lives. And the third and final con that I have is that the device is pretty fragile. I mean, I can say I have dropped my Apple Watch down a flight of stairs before and nothing has happened. But that being said, I also dropped my watch on concrete face first, which is what caused the first one to crack and break. So similar to some of the iPhones, unless you put a screen protector or something of that sort on the Apple Watch, just be ready for it to crack or scratch or break or things of that sort. They can be seen as pretty fragile devices. But also keep in mind you're having a multi-$100 device on your wrist, so you should be a little bit more mindful with the device altogether. That's kind of my mentality with it, but that is a really important con that I think should be shared because it is valid. It's a really true statement. Well, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope this kind of gave you a bit more clarity for some of the realistic things about the Apple Watch on whether you should or shouldn't purchase it. I personally think it is almost always worth it to buy, but that is just me, and I understand and recognize it doesn't fit with everybody's life, and that's okay. Thank you though so much for watching, and comment down below, is the Apple Watch worth it for you? Have you purchased it? Would you recommend it to the family? Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on Quartz Corner.